Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and the Moonshiners Cup Series Spear Lawnscaping 250. Not sure exactly what's going on right now, as apparently things and stuff are happening. There we go. All right. Well, sorry for the delay, folks, as Matt and I unfortunately got caught in a major snowstorm here tonight on the Northeast. Hunter Carmichael starting up on point. He's going to be joined with Tim Wortman Jr., Barry Sanders Jr., Kyle Holden in row 2, Jordan Schmeets and Warren Young in row number 3. Row 4 is going to see Shane Davis and Chad Sullivan, Ed Boyles Jr., and Darren Mullins in row number 5. Row 6 is going to see Wayne Bowen and Darren Mills. That rounds out the top half of the field. Jameson Middlemiss, Chris Spear in row number 7. Row 8, Justin Belmonte and Kendall Levrin. Paul Whitley and Randy Mullins in row number 9. Row 10 is going to see Bobby Justice and Chris Davis. David Belisari and John Binder in row number 11. Row 12 is going to see Aaron Matthews and Nick Atwood. And then rounding out the tail end of this field, starting shotgun in 25th starting position, that's going to be Ryan Huff. 25 cars scheduled to roll it here tonight is David Belisari electing to pit start. As you are watching, let's bring that up. There we go. Tonight's race being brought to you by Spear Landscaping, mowing infields one track at a time. And yes, that is a dig on one of our very own. That would be the 7 of Chris Spear, who just got hit by Kendall Levrin. Thank you all so much for making this a part of your Wednesday evening. He's Matt Mettler, I'm Tony Trapasso. And here we go. Is the field coming through the final section here? Back out on.
Mention
go ahead.
That sponsor brought to by Chris Spear, or AKA Warrior Reps. Spear mowing a lawn near you, perhaps. We're about to find out. There's a lot of grass here at this Indy road course, Tony.
There absolutely is. And I'm really digging what I'm seeing on Sanders' car. Look at that. We're going to highlight that throughout tonight. As the pace car is in, Wortman has the button up on the front row. Sorry, no. Hunter Carmichael has the button. As the field working its way into the final corner here and back out onto the front straightaway. The only thing that's left to say is, it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab the popcorn because it's time to get it on in Indy. Race fans, it's showtime!
Bad boys, bad toys. Hunter Carmichael's got the button and he's got the lead as we're live from Indianapolis Motor Speedway right here on SRM. Side-by-side drag race getting down here into turn 1. Tony, that has been the tricky corner here of our earlier broadcast in the week. Everyone gets by so far through nice and clean.
Absolutely. Everybody playing nice so far as working the way through the 2, 3, 4 complex here. And if turn 1 and 2 didn't get you, turn 3 and 4 definitely did. As there they go onto the back straightaway right now as we're going to take a look at the track map tonight. Everybody with a good head of steam right now as we're on top of the pedestrian bridge. And I hate that camera view.
I do too as well. You catch more bridge than anything.
Yeah. And I told you we would highlight them throughout the night. Let's take a look at that one. The only thing it's missing is a red roll cage. Tell me I'm wrong, Matt.
You're not wrong.
As right now, his teammate, Hunter Carmichael, in the RS button box in Chevy Camaro, showing the way, making that thing eat for all it's worth. And the highest running Ford and Toyota is right behind him in the form of Tim Wortman in the 83 and Kyle Holden's Toyota in the 59. Ford, Chevy, and a Toyota running 1, 2, 3 right now. Who says parity isn't a thing?
Yeah, well said, Tony Trapasso. As Carmichael has that car hunting right now at the front. It is on the prowl, and it's starting to check out just a little bit. Was that interval, now it climbs over the 1 second mark over Tim Hortman Jr. in that number 2 position.
Taking a look at the weather conditions for tonight, these guys are having to deal with triple-digit track temperatures here. A little bit before 4 p.m. in-sim time, as here comes Holden on Wortman. Wasn't close enough to make it stick, but that Martin Sports, number 59, is definitely on a rip right now as he went purple in sectors 2 and 3. This is going to be a solid lap for the 59.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Tony. He just hitting those corners perfectly. As you mentioned, he went purple. But you got to be able to put it all together.
He just got whacked with a slowdown penalty. Oh, my Lanta.
Oh, that, unfortunately, Tony, that will negate that lap.
Remember what you and I were talking about on Sunday when we were here? That corner leading onto the back straightaway? And how much of that curbing those guys were taking? Well, I think the 59 showed it the last time by. He took just a little too much of it.
Yeah, he tried to get a little too overzealous there with the sausage patty, and it bit him.
See, now you're making me hungry again. Oh!
Oh, the 59 goes around.
Speaking of
Kyle
sausage.
Holden.
Speaking of a sausage patty, oh my goodness. How many times have we seen that here this week alone, Matt?
Too many times, Tony. And someone took a bite of the spicy sausage on accident there, and around she went.
Right now, Hunter Carmichael, your race leader, by over a second to the good. The man out of Williams, Iowa, and that's a nice-looking buck he's got in that picture. Currently a second and a tenth over Tim Wortman Jr. and fast lap of the race. Oh, by the way, Wortman and Carmichael, the first two to go sub 130 here tonight. And since I forgot and wasn't doing my job, let's take a look at how many laps we are doing here tonight. Looks like 62.
Yeah, 62 laps the distance here around this 2.44 mile road course. And Tony, I got to ask you, do you still consider this the Brickyard, or is that only in your mind when it's related to the oval?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a difficult thing for me to say, Matt, because you're still crossing the yard of bricks. And when I say that, there is literally a 3-foot wide strip of brick from the original track still there on the front straightaway. And they have to be very careful when they repave this place that they don't tear those up. Now, the cars are still being pit in the garage area known as Gasoline Alley. What are the two biggest things about the Brickyard? The Yard of Bricks and Gasoline Alley. So, from that aspect, yes, but the Brickyard 400, and I'm a traditionalist, you know this, folks. A traditionalist through and through, ever since the beginning of time, I've been a traditionalist. And, yeah, sorry, King Controller. Brought up the leaderboard finally for you. Sorry about the delay in that. Matt and I being pressed for time here tonight as we just got out of a race at Talladega not even 5 minutes ago. But
true story.
You folks know I'm a traditionalist. The Brickyard 400, the Indy 500, those are oval races. So, is this still the Brickyard 400? No. Will it possibly be next year, depending on how the tire test went Monday?
Maybe.
Well, Monday and yesterday, anyways. I would dare say yes. If they bring it back to the oval, I will call it the Brickyard 400. Not the Allstate, who gives a crap anymore, whatever. Or the, Joe's Towing and Service, insert sponsor here, 400 at the Brickyard. No. It's the Brickyard 400. It can be presented by, but it's the Brickyard 400.
400.
Just like it's the Indy 500, presented by Verizon.
Well said, Tony. I couldn't agree with you more on that. As we continue to watch here, Hunter Carmichael.
Make racing great again.
Now that's a plug. Oh, taking a look here at Justin Belmonte going to work on the 78 of Bowen here. He's really putting him in the pressure cooker, coming through this long sweeping turn, quick onto the short chute. Then you got to jump hard into that braking zone here. This is an oopsie moment waiting to happen.
And, you know, you got to give up some to gain some. And right now, Belmonte is searching for, you know, any kink in the armor of the 78 of Bowen. As both of them flirting with that wall coming back out onto the front straightaway here at Indy. Oh, here we go.
Here it comes. Belmonte going to charge it hard into the braking zone. Can he outbrake Bowman on the outside?
Yes, he
Hunter
can.
Carmichael, nicely executed. Perhaps the 78 gave him a little bit of room. Looking at the big picture here, only lap 6 of 62, still a long way to go. That moves Justin Belmonte up to the 9th place position. Slide Bowen back to 10th. Still up one spot from where he started.
We're still watching this battle for 3rd as well as Shane Davis has caught Barry Sanders. Now, Belmonte currently your biggest mover in 9th at +6. But right now, Sanders and Davis going after each other. Sanders started in 3rd, currently runs in 3rd. Davis is +3 after starting 7th.
Yeah, Davis on the move. You know he's good at these road courses. Always does a magnificent job here behind the wheel as he tries to reel in the back of Barry Sanders, 88. He can see him, but Barry Sanders, he's logged a ton of laps here this week in practice. Look for him to be consistent as we now go on board, looking out the front of that 78 Camaro as he has Sanders in his sights going into that heavy braking zone, back into 1.
And all of these guys will be some of the first to tell you that they're not road course ringers. As a matter of fact, the one road course ringer of this lead, Mr. Excitement himself, Kenny Fola, is not here.
Yeah, I'm shocked by that, Tony. I thought for certain, as good as he's been on these road courses, he would be out in full force. He's not, and that leaves the door open for someone else to potentially, you know, get a big-time win at a big-time road course. Hunter Carmichael, the best candidate right now in that position as he continues to lead. But Shane Davis continues ever so slowly to reel in Barry Sanders, who currently owns that 3rd place position. But I can guarantee you Shane Davis wants it.
You're absolutely right. As checking back in here, Kyle Holden currently fast lap of the race. And let me bring that up so we can all read it. 29.15 with a 5. Kyle Holden currently quick lap of the race and first one to start flirting with sub-29 second laps.
Yeah, 129.155, so right on the cusp. And I'm confident we'll see that 128 second barrier broken as Barry Sanders now hits the fasty, a 129.16.
Actually, identical laps, 129.155.
Holy heck, you don't see that very often.
So they had to take that one out to the 4th decimal point. And I'm being told now it's a 155 with a 2 over a 155 with a 4.
Oh, my. Tony, what in distance on the race car? I mean, what are we talking?
Tip of the front bumper to where the grill starts.
That is just incredible. Who says NASCAR can't be a game of inches, or centimeters in this case, as Barry Sanders ever so slightly edges out Holden for the fast lap of the race. at a 1:29.1552.
Shane Davis just got to slow down. Shane Davis just got hit with a slowdown penalty.
Oh, that's disastrous for Shane Davis. The silver lining, it's early, Tony. And we've seen this happen already to a couple other drivers this session so far. It's one thing to be aggressive, but if you go just a little too much, that penalty isn't a variable. It's a fixed rate penalty. So it's not, hey, if you just kiss it a little bit there, they're not going to adjust that penalty. You go over and you pay a big premium.
Oh, you absolutely do. Is trying to find Kendall Leverin right now as I'm getting word that he crashed. Doesn't look like he hit anything. And those rear brake rotors are glowing. As Chris Spear partaking in a little lawnscaping there on the exit of 1.
Hey, he's got both decks out running right now in full force.
As there you see the Spear lawnscaping special. And that's the one thing I wish they would bring back. Let Indianapolis be a run what you brung open wheel race.
No money in that though, Tony.
Sure there is.
I'm playing devil's advocate here. There is money in it, but
well, think about this. Back in the 50s and early 60s, the Indy 500 actually used to be part of the FIA World Championship.
You have a point.
And only twice has a Ferrari shown up.
Twice, that's it.
And one time they failed to qualify. And the other time they had to retire early because the engine went.
Yeah, that was the race I was thinking of, is when that engine expired prematurely. I mean, look at talking about prematurely. I mean, Barry Sanders wasted no time taking his time up through the field. He is caught the 83 of Tim Wortman Jr., and he is really dialing up the pressure. Wortman, he is up on that wheel trying to keep that 88 behind him. Something tells me he knows that Barry Sanders, that 88 button box Chevrolet, is fast, and Wortman is driving the absolute bejesus out of that Mustang, keeping that Intimidator-esque paint scheme behind him of Barry Sanders at bay in third.
As they both come into the final chicane, Wortman with a little bit of lockup there. That's going to let Sanders get to his inside. And I think I just lost Matt. So now Sanders up into second. Carmichael shows the way. Wortman back to third.
Hunter Carmichael looking like Mr. Excitement out there as he's approaching an 8-second gap over his teammate of Barry Sanders Jr. The Corn Man has a plan. The Iowa native out large and in charge here in Indianapolis through 11 laps of competition.
Absolutely. As Sanders has whittled that lead down a little bit and continues to pick into it.
Oh, he's chipping away at it, that's for sure. And Tony, these tires are like hockey pucks on this race car with this track configuration. And we've seen it before during the week. Barry Sanders can literally run probably as hard as he wants without paying a premium for tire fall off here. I mean, we've seen that time and time again, and I'm sure Sanders is aware of it. Much different than the old tire model, though, however, where you ran as hard as Barry Sanders was running right now, you'd be way off the pace in 10, 15 laps.
You're absolutely correct there, Matt. Right now, we are watching this battle for a 10th. That is Spear has it. Kendall Leverin wants it. Ed Boyles Jr. into this mix as well. The Tide Ride is that third car in line. Matter of fact, let's take a look at the 31. That Food City Tide Ride. Something about that orange paint scheme just pops.
Nah, it works. It works well for Ed Broyles Jr.
And there you see the Chief Cook and Bottle Washer over there at Warrior Wraps. That is Chris Spear. As he is now working on...
Oh!
Yikes! Now that's some dirty pool.
That's going to leave a mark.
Come to lever and just send him into the wall. And look at those brake rotors glow.
Oh.
A little bit of chrome horn action from Boyles.
Took it from both ends again.
At least buy me dinner and a movie first. So these guys are still just packing them up and laying them down here.
Everyone's still chasing Hunter Carmichael, who has been on the prowl from the drop of the green flag. He's done everything except set the fastest lap of the race.
Actually, he has. Look at his best lap. 129, 155 with a 1.
I take that back. Hunter Carmichael has done everything right thus far through 13 laps of competition.
Jeez.
He continues to be the hot man with the hot hand.
Not anymore.
Holden
just blistered one.
A 129.124.
Good grief. Think Kyle Holden's put in some laps here this week?
I know he has, just as Barry Sanders has as well. You can see him getting airborne there in that TRD-powered Camry. He's now starting to reel in Wortman Jr., who currently owns that third and final podium position.
As Paul Whitley bails out of it, gets out of the way of the cars actually running for position.
Schmidt's got to be careful here, catching him where he did. Great heads up by Whitley.
I guarantee you Whitley was talking to him the whole way, saying, yeah, go this way, I'll get out of your way.
As you can see, Whitley a little bit off the pace from where the leaders are running. Is now holding his cut. Wortman.
Looking to
He's
the
going to waste no
inside.
time.
Oh, baby.
Tony, this could go wrong. We've seen this before.
And Wortman just letting him go.
Smart play by the 83, because you cannot fit too wide. I mean, you can, but someone always catches a piece of the curbing and then gets catapulted into the outside car. How many times have we seen that?
Quite a few times this week. As a matter of fact, Sunday night, if you go back and take a look at that race, ladies and gentlemen, from Sunday Night NASCAR, the race winner actually got punted in turn 1 on lap 1.
Went all the way to worst and then back to first. That was a heck of a drive we witnessed on Sunday night. You're absolutely right, Tony.
Oh, it absolutely was. I do want to thank everybody for joining us in the live chat right now. I see 90 in here, but I'm only seeing 1 like so far on this video. Please don't forget to give these videos a thumbs up. Every like these videos get helps share these races with the YouTube algorithm. The more thumbs up a channel gets, the more thumbs up their videos get individually, the more likely it is to show up on someone's homepage of, hey, you're a racing fan, you might like to watch this. So help spread the word about your favorite racing league right now, the Moonshiners Racing Cup Series, here every Wednesday night on Sim Racing Media. And while you're at it, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media, as we are currently on the third race of a quadruple header tonight. Still 1 more to go before all is said and done, as the SCL boys are getting ready to kick off here in another 10 or so minutes. But big action here on Wednesdays. Wide open Wednesdays, as we're going to start calling it from now on. As, again, 4 races on Wednesday night alone, and we have action all 7 nights during the week. You don't want to miss any of it. And something just happened to Jordan Schmitz.
Oh, don't tell me Schmitz got smeared.
I won't. because it doesn't look like he did, but he did get registered as a crash.
Okay, probably an off-track incident. For the driver of the number 41 Ford Mustang, currently in that 5th and final position in the top 5, Tony.
Yeah, that is definitely no bueno.
Looks like he gave up a lot of time there to Shane Davis as well, who's now within 4 seconds back in 6th.
Closing in now. He's only 2 1/4 or 3 1/4 behind Schmitz. That slowdown penalty really caught Davis out to lunch. I think he's gotten a couple others since then. So when that's the problem with this track. It's very unforgiving as far as track limits. This track is one of the most unforgiving we're going to go to all season, as opposed to next week when we go to Watkins Glen and the real wine country of America, the Finger Lakes, some of the best wine in the world coming out of this region. And, it's for those who like a little Armco with their racing.
Well said, Tony. Tony is
tried.
Literally in the heart of Finger Lakes in that central New York region.
I'm exactly 46 minutes from Watkins Glen. And that's only because I have to take backcountry roads and go through 3 small towns to get there.
Yeah, you don't have the interstate sitting right there out your front door.
Well, I kind of do. I have State Route, 5 and 20, about maybe a quarter mile from my house. But that doesn't run north to south. That runs east to west.
East to west, right.
And so I have to get down to New York State 90 to get to the Glen. And I'll tell you right now, if I had the money for a ticket, I would have gone this year.
Because that's Tony's home track. That's my official home track, as I was born and raised in Buffalo, New York. Now my home track, Miami Homestead Speedway, but I will never forget the Glen and all of its awesome facilities, the pre-race, the camping. Cannot talk enough about how good the camping is there.
Nobody ever forgets their first time camping at the Glen.
True statement.
And, folks, it's not just about the race this week coming up. There is so much to do. There's so many historical sites. As a matter of fact, they just had Founders Day here in Auburn, New York. And for those of you wondering why Auburn is such a big deal, it was the home of Harriet Tubman. Some of you might be asking, some of you younger folks that maybe haven't covered that in school yet, who is Harriet Tubman? Well, back in the Civil War and back when this country unfortunately allowed slavery, there was a little thing called the Underground Railroad where they tried to smuggle former slaves up into Canada, where slavery was abolished back in 1790, I think it was. And Harriet Tubman was a pivotal role in that, as if you could get to her place here in Auburn, you could get on the Erie Canal, get up to the Hudson River Valley, and just cross right over into Canada. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So Harriet Tubman, played such a pivotal role in helping free so many people held against their will down in the southern states. I mean, she's a national hero. And I'll tell you right now, she needs to be on a piece of currency in this country. That's how important a role she played. As we're watching Justin Belmonte and Wayne Bowman go after each other. And here comes Randy Mullins in the 54. Right now, it's Belmonte and Bowens for 11th spot. These guys are all over each other. Your biggest mover so far is back here in 16th spot. That's Ryan Huff. Oh, no. And Chris Davis doing a little lawnscaping this time. And Jamison Middlemist loops it coming off the back chute. Please tell me that doesn't say Netflix and Dill. Yes, it does. Okay. Sure, why not? We'll watch movies and eat pickles. And we may have lost Matt somewhere along the way. Nope, still got him. That's the good news. Working lap 19 of 62 here tonight from the Brickyard. As we're watching Shane Davis and Chad Sullivan start to heat things up. And Davis has got to mitigate those mistakes of getting slowdown penalties, as he's already a couple of them deep into this piece. This is one of your closest battles on track for position. Everybody else pretty well strung out right now, as I believe we might be closing in on the stage caution.
Oh, Shane P. Davis locks it up there. The 21 of Sullivan's going to be able to get by. Just like that, move Bad Chad Sullivan into that 6th place position. Knocking on the back door of the top 5, but Tony Jordan Schmitz over 4 seconds up the road.
You are absolutely not wrong, as it looks like we've got 2 retirements to speak of so far. Bobby Justice put it on the hauler after 11 laps, and Ryan Huff just towed it. Let's go back and take a look at what happened with Huff. There you see the 93. And that's coming out back onto the oval track. That's the south end of the Speedway. Bounces the curbing. Oh! That thing just snapped loose on him. He got 2 off coming out of that corner into the chicane. And it looks like Huff may be calling no mas.
Yeah, he towed it immediately to pit road after not hitting anything. But, Tony, this track has the ability to just, get the best of you. It's such a technical race course. You got to be on the money every single corner, turn. Even on the straights, you got to be careful because you got to prepare for these heavy braking zones. Hunter Carmichael now over 10 seconds on Kyle Holden. Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders. So it's a Bad Boy front 2. The 3 and the 88, Bad Boy Racing. They own the top 2 spots, even though Hunter Carmichael is in another zip code right now. And then you have about 1.7 seconds back to Kyle Holden.
Actually, Kyle Holden has now caught Barry Sanders.
Holy crap. What a drive here late in this run from Kyle Holden. Is Sanders must have had a problem, because I was just checking the interval before we shifted coverage there to cover the Shane Davis incident.
Yeah, there and you can see it. He's been slowing down progressively. 131, 130, 130, 130, 129. And Holden's just been holding steady. He really chipped out of it a few laps ago, and now dive bombs it. Sanders going to try to battle back, and that's that give and take. You're going to get something if you charge it, but you're going to have to give it back when you go into the next corner, because the other guy is going to be able to get the run on you. And these 2 guys are just slugging it out for 2nd place right now.
Yeah, they literally are. This is a straight-up slugfest right now, coming into the short chute again. And you got to really prepare for that braking zone there. That's a tough corner here on this road course. Look at Holden getting all of the curbing, getting really greedy with that racetrack, but not going over the edge. As Sanders now solidifies himself in that 3rd place position, Holden up 2 spots to 2nd.
And there you can see Holden steps out by a full second to do good that time. or second quicker. And Carmichael is on one right now. And Matt, do you happen to know when the stage caution is supposed to happen? Uh-oh. Atwood's around.
Atwood went for a spin. He has it righted, though. SRM Instant Replay. Show us what happened here.
There you see the Beast Mode 24 coming down the back chute. And everybody's trying to wait to that bridge to jump on the binders. And he just gets a little off track and it just sends the car.
Chris Spear had it spotted.
Luckily.
Yeah, you're going to see Middle Miss and others get by. Oh, Chris Davis gets around.
All those Beast Mode cars seem to be struggling here tonight. And that's because my captain, Kenny Capola, is not here to keep these guys kind of in check, if you will. And there is your race leader coming up on the aforementioned 24. Now, Atwood's already a couple of laps down. Make that 1. He's about to go 2 right here.
2 laps around this 2.44 mile facility. I mean, that just goes to show you how fast Hunter Carmichael's been getting around here since the drop of the green flag. Green all the way thus through. Lap 23 in the books. Tony, I'm going to see if I can find that stage for you.
Thank you, sir. As I'm going to check my notes as well. And we don't have it. Huh. Yep, we don't have it. As we're checking board with Shane Davis as he's trying to reel in Chad Sullivan one more time. Currently on lap 23. Getting ready to put 23 in the books already. So let's take a look at your race leader. There's Hunter Carmichael, who just crossed to put number 23 in the books. Kyle Holden coming out of the final corner there. Onto the front straightaway and across the yard of bricks. Sanders crosses right there. There you see Tim Wortman coming out on the front straightaway now. Started second, currently rides in fourth. Jordan Schmidt in the 41. He is currently running in fifth where he started this race. Chad Sullivan has gained 2 in sixth. Warren Young in 8th has lost 2. And Shane Davis holds court right now, but he's working on Sullivan for 6th. That is your closest battle on track by far. It sounds like Matt's back.
Yeah, your stage breaks are going to be at lap 2040. However, it's going to there's no stage breaks, just like in NASCAR.
Gotcha.
In real life, and points were awarded or will be awarded at those laps while we remain under green flag conditions, Tony.
Okay, so we're already past lap 20. So Hunter Carmichael coming home with the stage point win at that time. And it looks like,
yes, sir,
if things keep going the way they're going, Carmichael is going to win stage 2 as well, as we are getting ready to put 24 in the books. With that, as we're closing in on the halfway mark, we're going to step away, pay a couple bills, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back at Indy as part of the Moonshiners Cup Racing League. I'm Tony Trapasso. He's Matt Medler. Thank you so much for making this part of your Wednesday evening. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action here on Sim Racing Media. And I do apologize, folks. I'm not drunk. I just have the hiccups.
When you're pulling the daily double, Tony, anything could happen. Hiccups definitely a part of it. Oh, Belisari there blocks up the front tires. Don't want to flat spot him here because once you start that process, every time you jump on those binders, those Goodyears always seem to find that flat spot. Is the 45 currently up 5 spots from pit starting, remember. He started back in the pits in that 16th place position now. Just up the road, John Binder, that would be for position in that number 33 Sundrop Chevrolet. Currently your biggest mover, I believe, of the race. He is in that 15th place position.
Tied for it at +7. You got to go all the way up to 9th for the other +7 driver, and that is the drag racer Kendall Leverum. Yes, you heard me right. A drag racer going to work on a road course.
Yeah, drag races in real life, but taking it to the road course here at Indy right now in that 28 and doing a heck of a job of it inside that top 10 right now, Tony.
Absolutely, showing that he not only knows how to go in a straight line, he also knows how to turn right and left. And as a matter of fact, this is one of those tracks that we hit you with so many rights, you're going to be begging for a lap. Even more so next week as we go to the penultimate round of the regular season, as it looks like the 24 just had an off track. Yes, he did. Way off pace. He's going to let Levering get by cleanly. But the penultimate round and back-to-back road courses as we go to Watkins Glen, the real wine country of the United States. And Matt, I don't know if you've ever had a chance to taste some of the wares here.
Whoa!
That's
24 goes way off. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, Atwood's having problems. He may want to get some service done on that thing. Yeah, just bring it down pit road, bud.
Chris Spear, eat your heart out.
Jeepers.
Unfortunately, Atwood's mowing it down better than his landscaping company right now.
You're not wrong. But, Matt, I don't know if you ever had a chance to sample some of the dessert wines that are available out there for some of the vineyards here in upstate New York. But there's a vineyard just outside of Ithaca. Give me a second.
You got it, boss. Well, Tony's trying to figure that out. Hunter Carmichael continues to lead. However, the lead is shrunk. Kyle Holden able to get it inside of 10 seconds as we're approaching halfway here. Currently working lap 30 of 62.
Absolutely.
Hunter Carmichael Lee. Whoa!
That was sketch.
That could have been bad.
Yes,
really
it was.
Really bad.
That could have been very bad.
Darren Mills almost destroyed Hunter Carmichael's winning car thus far. Oh, his Atwood is off again.
That last chicane has been hurting Atwood all night. But, yeah, I did have this right. It was Casa Larga, located just outside of Ithaca. They have some of the best ice wine in North America.
I can't say I've ever had ice wine.
It's a dessert wine, basically.
So very sweet, I assume?
It's a lot sweeter than a normal wine. But, oh, Kyle Holden just broke into the 28s.
A 1:28.84. He busts through it big time. First man of the night in the 1:28-second bracket. Will Hunter and Barry Sanders continue to follow?
Sullivan peels off.
Bad Chad on pit road. He's going to give up that 7th place position.
Let's go back to your race leader. But yeah, what you do, and it really enhances that boldness. Oh no, folks, we'll be right back.
Cake. I almost did too.
And we're back. Sorry about that, folks. I got a little gun shy as my connection has not been the greatest, as we are watching some pretty... Oh no, it was Carmichael had the blinkies. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Carmichael, your leader, who had the case of the blinkies there, seems to have stabilized. Kyle Holden in second, Barry Sanders in third.
We're watching the battle for 12th between Ed Boyles Jr. and Chris Spear. Spear sponsoring tonight's race with Spear's Landscaping, mowing infields at a track near you. And Jordan Schmeets peels it off to go pit side. So looks like 32 laps as we're just past the halfway mark. But yeah, Matt, if you ever get a chance, next time you're up in this area, pick yourself up some of that and bring the wife home a nice big chunk of cheesecake and let her go to town.
Will do, Tony. She does like cheesecake. I'll give her that. Not too many other things on that side of things, but cheesecake, apparently that's a winner.
Has she ever tried cannoli that you know of?
Have you ever tried cannolis? Yeah, she has tried cannolis.
How does she feel about cannoli?
I'm getting the blank, squinty-eyed stare right now.
Apparently she doesn't like cannoli. Hunter Carmichael, Kyle Holden, Barry Sanders Jr. all down pit road. Let's see what Wortman does. Wortman comes pit side as well. So does the 24 of Atwood, banging the wall again. Good grief.
I was just told to bend over, and then I find out how she feels about cannolis.
Well, I mean, it's similar. If it's done right, it's a similar texture to a cheesecake. What the hell, man? You might need to call, one of those hotlines, Matt, because technically she is Florida woman at this point. Just don't give her any Diet Mountain Dew.
Not going to give her any Diet Mountain Dew. Warren Young takes it to pit road there in the button box number 8. Carmichael, go ahead.
I was going to say, Carmichael already down and away. 4 in fuel for him, 4 in fuel for Holden. Sanders doing the same. And it looks like Holden and Sanders may have slipped through their pit box. There's Wortman now down and away. And looks like that's going to be the key for tonight. 4 in fuel for everybody.
Everybody going for 4 in fuel here. That's to make it the scheduled distance here. So money stops have been completed. Hunter Carmichael still has north of an 8-second advantage over Kyle Holden and Barry Sanders. And then you got to go way, way back to Wortman Jr. and Warren Young. Round out the top 5. Warren Young almost 50 seconds off the pace.
And actually, it looks like Jordan Schmeets jumped Young in the pits, as Young had to spend a little extra time in his box trying to get some damage repair. I don't know where he caught that damage, but apparently he did. There's Bowen, Spear, and Boyles all down pit road right now. And you just know that right now Hunter Carmichael is looking to uncork one.
Yeah, he's been primed for a while. He's always been fast. Always been a part of the action up front, one way or the other. Winds just seem to somehow elude him. And they've found a lot of ways to get the better of him over the course of this season. But so far tonight, Tony, he has been perfect.
And I actually like how he's going through that section that leads onto the back straightaway, that little left-right quick turn. He's not taking a lot of curbing. He's just keeping it between the lines, driving his own race, and not overly aggressively attacking these corners.
He's not being greedy, and that's smart.
Right.
There's no reason to be right now with north of a 10-second lead. He can pace himself. He can maintain his equipment, take care of those brakes and rotors. He's doing exactly what he needs to do right now. And he's doing a great job of it. Like you said, Tony, he's just, I mean, last time by,
we're going to follow along with Carmichael for a lap here.
Even better idea. Because I was going to give you his lap time, but that also included a pit stop.
Last time by, though, 1:29.53.
Yeah, he's running very competitive lap times, Tony, and he's not being overzealous, not taking too much. You just see him being very methodical through here, taking his time early into the braking zone.
And once we get this lap in the books with Carmichael, we're going to go on board with Kyle Holden, who's right behind him. And you can see he's not taking a ton of that sausage curve.
It's not destroying the suspension in the process.
Exactly. And he's not damaging that underbelly because of the belly pans on these cars now. It's very easy to get that wrong.
Yes, we've seen in other league competition, Tony. I really like how he gets through this portion of the racetrack here. Transitions onto the short chute, into the braking zone, does not even touch the curbing there at all. Swings it out wide, cuts it back in, over the curbing there, but it's rather flat. That's not going to upset the race car. Right down to the line, and then he picks it up here on the front stretch. I mean, that's a very safe way to get around this racetrack, yet effective by Hunter Carmichael.
Absolutely. As he goes 1:29.16, his fast lap of the race now. As we are on board with Holden, we're going to do the same thing. Watch how much more Holden is attacking. Wringing the thing's neck out in fourth gear, going down into turn number 1. Grabs 2 under heavy braking.
Holden just ran the fastest lap of the race last time by a 1:28.54.
That's hustling it.
But look how much more of a beating he's having to put on his race car to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not agreeing with what he's doing right now. That's just, you're overusing your equipment. And I mean, yeah, I get it. You want to win and apologize to the tires later, but you know, who's going to take the suspension arms out to dinner and rest them tonight when they're injured and bent? Are you going to put ice pack on their wounds?
Fortunately, that doesn't work.
I know.
I mean, he is just killing. I mean, he's not locking them up, but he is getting all of those breaks that they'll give him. He is using every... Oh! No, major miss.
Too aggressive.
I did it again, Tony.
That goes back to what we were talking about, Matt. As Sanders now gets by for second.
Goes exactly back to what we were talking about. However, I am sorry, Kyle Holden. Damn broadcaster's curse kicks my tail again. As he was coming off his fastest lap, the fastest lap of the race, but eating too good in the neighborhood, even strikes on the road courses.
And let's go back and watch that again. Here he is, coming back out onto oval number 2. It's the south end of the track. Heavy braking. You see a little bit of brake rotor glow there. And he's just throwing that car around. Just gets a little too overzealous here. Applying the throttle, and around she goes. And there goes, here comes Barry Sanders. And there goes Barry Sanders.
Come and go. And Barry Sanders enjoying a 3.5-second lead now over Holden that he's going to have to make back up on a very consistent number 88. That driver has been poised as well tonight. Now, Bad Boy Racing owns the top 2 spots once again. As Kyle Holden's going to have to chase him back down to be the meat in the sandwich there.
It's Carmichael continuing to show the way here. 18 seconds to the good.
Almost feels like Kenny Coppola is driving the 3. We know he isn't. But with him not here, Hunter Carmichael picking up.
Well, the question is Hunter taking a page out of Kenny Coppola's playbook? Is he using a gamepad, and is he partaking in adult libations at the same time?
Well, we don't know right now, but we can certainly ask him after the race. Because let's just face it. I mean, Barry Sanders, very good, very capable race car driver. But he's almost 20 seconds off the pace. Where I'm going with that, bar an absolute nuclear disaster, we're going to be talking to Hunter Carmichael after the checkered flag falls. Because now we're approaching lap number 39. And that is being written in the books as we speak. Carmichael continues to gap Barry Sanders, now over 19 seconds, Tony.
Absolutely. It's Carmichael just putting on a clinic here tonight. This is the best drive we've seen out of Hunter Carmichael all season.
Oh, by far. I mean, he has just been lights out from the drop of the checkered flag, from the pole, mind you. I mean, he's even with the board right now, but that's okay when you're P1.
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
Absolutely not.
The rest of this field, though, More strung out than a methadone clinic is. We don't have a single battle under. Oh, yes we do.
Yes, we do.
Randy Mullins has now caught Chris Spear as Spear Lawnscaping does a little of that. Battle for 12th now, hot and heavy. As Wayne Bowen off track.
Oh, big miss for the 78. That's going to cost him dearly, as that's going to put him now just inside the top 15.
You see him going into one. Not overly aggressive, but these switchbacks leading to the back straightaway, this 2-3-4 complex has really caught drivers out all week. Oh.
Yeah, it just starts to float on him, and he cannot save it. Gets off into the grass, and that's just about as slick as ice for all intents and purposes when you put that Goodyear tire on it. It'll help cool the tires down a little bit, Tony, but not worth the amount of time that you give up to do it.
True story. Let's check back in here with Chris Spears. That's Randy Mullins behind him. This is your battle for 11th and 12th. And your closest battle on track at 3/4 of a second.
Yeah, how about Chris Spear having a great run here? Up 3 spots, knocking on the back door of the top 10 here in 11th. But Randy Mullins, Rabid Randy all over the back of Spear as he's closing him in, ever ancient in the Mount Pleasant, North Carolina native. He letting it fly over to Sausage Patties. See that right side of that race car pop up in the air?
Yeah, absolutely. And we are just past the stage 2. Carmichael, Sanders, Holden, Wortman, Schmeat, Sullivan, Young, Davis, Leverin, and Belmonte get the final point.
Yeah, some very key critical points there for some of these drivers here. Further back inside the top 10 is Watkins Glen will be your final regular season race next week following coverage.
No.
Well, thank you, Tony. I thought Watkins Glen.
No, Daytona is.
So right around the corner. Thank you for the correction.
Yeah, tomorrow, next week is the penultimate race. Let me double check my facts, make sure that I'm not misleading you, Matt.
Not a problem, Tony.
Yes. So, Watkins Glen 200, then the Raging Cajun Bail Bonds 250 at Daytona is the regular season finale.
Gotcha. So, you go from the super speedway road courses to the birthplace of speed as far as NASCAR is concerned. Started on the beach to the high banks of Daytona, and that will finalize the regular season before we go to playoff mode. Whoa, Spears smoked it. Able to keep it on track, though. You don't want to do that consecutively back to back. You start flat spotting these Goodyears, Tony, it's going to be all together different race car.
You're absolutely right. And I'm taking a look right now at the current point standings. And right now, Wayne Bowen and Darren Mullins tied for the final transfer spot into the playoffs. Looks like Bowen has the tiebreaker right now with more top fives. But that is some tight racing back there. And I take that back. Neither one of those two guys are in. Because you got to go back to 25th. Chad Sullivan is inside the top 32 with a win. And for that matter, so is Darren Mills. So by virtue of having that win and being in the top 32, those two guys are going to get the final 2 transfer spots. So that means Ryan Huff out Wayne Bowen, out. Darren Mullins, out. Jameson Middlemiss, out. Garrett Crawford, out.
Out. Wins are huge, Tony.
Yes, they are. And
That's why we say, go ahead.
And I was just going to say, Darren Mullins has already put it on the hauler. He's pretty much given up at this point.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for the driver of the number 2 Chevrolet. Falls to attrition here at the Indy Road Course. Watching there, Justin Belmonte, recent winner here in the series. Driver of that number 6 Ford Mustang. Chris Spear starting to make a bid for that top 10, or that first position inside the top 10.
Yeah, Belmonte has it as we are officially 20 to go. Hunter Carmichael now with a 13 and a half second lead. And Kyle Holden is starting to catch Barry Sanders. There's Sanders smoking him in, going after the back straightaway. And that is Kyle Holden right behind him.
Barry Sanders stoking the fire there a little bit. Just making sure those Goodyears are at fully operating temperature, I think. That's all, Tony.
Yeah, no. And I'll tell you why. That's what Barry Sanders is seeing out of his rearview mirror right now. And he knows just how fast Kyle Holden has been.
That's exactly right. Remember, Holden got a little too greedy there. Was, arguably the fastest car on the racetrack at the time, and just took a little too much, and it sent him around. And then Barry Sanders was able to get back by, but now Holden has ran Barry Sanders back down. This is the closest battle, I believe, right now on the racetrack as we go firing off down into 1. Holden about a car length off the back of Barry Sanders, doing a great job there getting through the switchbacks.
They are at that, and you can see that Holden has been faster than Sanders the last 3 laps. And it was on lap 39 that Sanders got by him.
Lap 39, Sanders got by him, and you can see Sanders now giving it everything that he has to try and hold Kyle Holden back, trying to make him use his stuff up. But Tony, these tires, they're like the reds in the Formula One cars. You're putting those hards on.
No, the whites. The reds are the ultra softs.
Oh, that's right. Thank you. The whites. Basically, those hockey pucks, as you like to say.
Absolutely. And I believe that was the 5 of Aaron Matthews. Yes, it was. Smoking him going into the final chicane. But getting back up here with this battle for second, still hot and heavy. And this is your only real battle on track right now.
Tony, let me shift gears here really quick. What do you think about the idea for road courses having different tire compounds available in the pits?
I kind of like the idea.
I do too.
But I don't know. See, that's the part that concerns me about these cars. You can have 2 compounds, hard or harder. I might be okay with that choice.
Okay.
But with as heavy as these cars are and as top heavy as the center of gravity is on these things, I don't know if that's such a good idea in this series. With the Cup cars, I don't know how good of an idea that would be, especially, I don't want to see what we saw in the mid-90s with the tire wars. And that was Randy Mullins pointed the wrong way on a one-way street. But, there was a while there where, Goodyear had a hard enough time making 1 tire that would work.
Let alone 2.
Now you're asking to pull out 2 tires at every race.
No, you have a point there, and I know that was a very controversial topic I was going to bring up, and you're right. The tire wars of the 90s between Hoosier and Goodyear,
We're
was
lucky
not
we
fun
didn't
times
kill
in the
more
sport. You're
drivers.
absolutely right.
We are absolutely lucky that we didn't kill more drivers with that taking place.
Few of them during that time. You're absolutely right.
You know, top 10 every week would be a Hoosier. And what would happen to all the Hoosier teams during the actual race? They were blowing tires out and tagging the wall.
This was before the Hans device safer barrier.
Yep. And there wasn't even a lot of guys that wore neck collars. You know, it was the Wild West. And, you know, we're damn lucky that we didn't kill more drivers. I mean, unfortunately, we lost Tony Roper during that time.
Yeah, Tony Roper. Some pretty
Kenny Irwin
big
Jr.
Kenny Irwin Jr. at New Hampshire.
Yep.
I mean, he was young. I believe he was in his sophomore season.
Yeah, he was. He was fresh out of USAC. You know, and he was on the same trajectory that Tony Stewart was on and Jeff Gordon. You know, USAC breeds winners.
Always has.
It always has. You know, you take a look at, past Daytona 500 champions. A.J. Foyt. Where did he come from? USAC.
USAC.
Mario Andretti. Where did he come from? USAC.
USAC.
You know, Jeff Gordon, probably and Tony Stewart, the best two examples of that, you know, having been multi-time champions in the Cup Series. Where'd they both come from? The USAC midgets and sprint cars.
Right, and the biggest oddity at the time was Jeff Gordon, because he was the Californian. You know, at that point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but that was a big deal.
Yeah, no, that was huge. You know, this kid that was living in California, it's kind of where they got the storyline for Days of Thunder, loosely based on that. And, you know, Jeff was a multi-time USAC champion. As a matter of fact, he was a Triple Crown winner. Tony Stewart went on to win the USAC Triple Crown, where in the same season you win the midget, the sprint, the Champ Car championship. You know, and Kenny Irwin Jr. was another one that was on track to do that. And, you know, going a little more current into the mix, add Dave Steele to that list. Dave Steele, it was when he died, he was getting ready to do a test with Hendrick.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Yeah, he was ready to run their ARCA West program, but unfortunately he...
Oh.
Yep.
Sanders almost served. Middle miss.
Jesus!
Oh, my goodness.
Jameson, what are you doing, son? Read what's on the side of that car.
Netflix and Dill?
Yeah.
I love it.
Jesus Christ. It's now Holden and Sanders door to door again. Sanders going to use the advantage of that lap car. Kendall Leverin held up Kyle Holden.
Barry Sanders says, thank you very much. And now Holden's got to go after Sanders again.
You're not wrong.
Oh, Sanders missed.
Well, there you go.
Someone's off track.
Lots of someone's.
Oh, there's multiple cars off track there.
Okay, so that would have been Paul Whitley. And I believe
that's middle miss again?
No,
Davis.
It's Davis.
The other Davis.
It's Chris Spear and Justin Belmonte starting to go after each other.
Yeah, they've kind of been glued to each other one way or the other. Either Belmonte leading, Spear following, or now Belmonte chasing Spear. But they have been racing each other hard throughout the course of this entire race. This right at the top 10 point. Chris Spear currently has it. Justin Belmonte wants it now.
And remember what I said about Hunter Carmichael uncorking one? Look at that lap. 128.823.
And this getting deep into the tire run too, Tony.
Yeah, it is. But this is where you expect him to turn the most, or the fastest laps.
Right. That's what we're so used to now, which is, the 29. He got it wrong. Chris Davis there gets a little off track, gets it pointed the right way in that Camry, though. He's going to get it back rolling here in the right direction.
As here you see Aaron Matthews and David Baldassari going after each other. Battle for 15th.
Remember, Baldassari pit started. Aaron Matthews up 8 spots from where he started here in 15th. Top 15 for the 5 ride of Aaron Matthews right now.
Currently one of your 2 biggest movers. Your biggest mover is that man in our favorite beverage ride.
A cherry sun drop, though, that one's pretty good.
Do what now?
The cherry sun drop.
See, if I'm drinking anything cherry out of that area, I'm drinking cheer wine.
I'm not drinking cherry anything out of your area. I'm sorry.
No. Out of that area.
Oh. I misunderstood you.
No, Sundrop is a south of the Mason-Dixon thing.
Yes, it is. I'm well aware of that. It's a North Carolina thing.
Right. And if I'm drinking anything out of North Carolina that's cherry flavored, it's going to be cheer wine.
Cheer wine's good too.
Nice ice cold one on a hot summer's day. Just me and my posse and MCA.
Me and my posse and MC. Oh, jeez. Nonetheless, Binder doing Binder type things because he's the biggest mover of the race. How many times have we seen him do that this season, Tony?
What is this, race 19? I think we've seen it in 18 of them.
Always a candidate for that role. You can almost bet on it.
You know, and John, it's not that he's a good driver. He just doesn't have that qualifying pace. But when you turn him loose in race trim, forget it. He's lights out. Yeah, I would love to see what would happen to that Sundrop number 33 if it could start inside the top 10 one night.
Daytona's coming right around the corner.
Yeah, but he's got to lay down a lap, and Daytona's one of the hardest tracks to lay down a lap.
I hear he's good at qualifying in the plate configuration. A lot of tire smoke there that the 8 of Wayne Bowen just had to pilot through. More tire smoke. Seeing that Jimmy Egenfelder on the camera there, he's coughing and hacking, not sure what happened.
Now, as long as Jimmy doesn't have to take another nosedive off the camera tower, it'll all be peachy and or spiffy.
Jimmy sometimes goes to the extreme to get you these must-have on-demand camera angles, and
car coming right at him, and he doesn't even flinch.
Nope.
Because here we go, Aaron Matthews and David Baldassari start to heat things up again. And it's a lap car down on the low side. I believe that is that's the 74 of Whitley.
Paul Whitley. It's out of the way. Let's Baldassari and Matthews continue to duke this one out.
Matthews just has to mitigate the mistakes to bring it home. As right now, taking a look through this field, we've got 8 cars left on the lead lap. But for how much longer? Because there's your race leader. There's Shane Davis right in front of him.
Yeah, Shane Davis just not having the performance here that we saw out of Sonoma earlier this season. Still having a solid run, just like you said, Tony, he is on the verge of going a lap down here.
Jeepers.
Whoa, look at Uber. I mean, he just launched. He got all 4 tires off the ground.
Looking like a skateboard at the X Games. Randy Mullins getting up and out of the way. He knows he's not racing for position there.
As Randy's currently in that 12th position.
Well, here we go again. Spear and Belmonte. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a member of the Professional Bowlers Association named Justin Belmonte?
PBA, yeah. There absolutely is. I don't know if they're the same or not.
Well, perhaps one of these days we should ask Justin if he's any relation.
Tony, maybe you've cracked the code.
Yeah, but I don't know how I feel about two-handed bowling.
Two-handed bowling?
Yeah, that's how Justin Belmonte throws the ball.
I was not aware of that.
Yep, no thumb, just index and middle finger, and he just steadies the ball with his left hand as he throws it.
Ah, so he puts a ton of spin on that puppy.
Yeah, and I don't agree with it.
Is he a lefty?
No, he's a righty. And with the rotation that he puts on the ball, he kind of destroys the lanes for anybody bowling right near him.
I was going to say, he probably, a righty with that type of a sidewinder approach.
Well, he's Australian. We shouldn't really hold that against him. They do some really weird shit over there.
Oh, is that?
That was Carmichael. What happened to Hunter?
Don't do that, son. Now is not the time for shenanigans.
And here he is coming back out onto the oval.
How much time did this cost him?
Let's go look. Ooh, it didn't lose him a lot.
No, he
got lucky.
Very lucky. He literally took it through the grass, was able to maintain momentum.
Yeah, that cost him 2.25 seconds.
Nothing to like what's happened to Holden or Sanders on their mishaps.
Right. I mean, he still has an almost 15-second lead.
Just get that one out of the system. Okay, that's done and over with.
You can back it on down now. I know you were trying to get fast lap of the race. Don't worry about that. Just worry about bringing the victory home.
Right, that's what's critical. That's important.
And just put the exclamation point on the fact that you're making it into the playoffs. And get those bonus points, son.
Bingo. Because, like you said at the beginning of the broadcast, or I shouldn't say beginning, but about a quarter of the way through, this has been the performance of the season thus far for Hunter Carmichael. Now he's done all the heavy work, all the heavy lifting, all the hard work. He's got almost a 15-second lead. He doesn't have to hustle it too hard. Just hit your marks, execute, and bring it home in one piece, and get that ever important win. And use that to punch your ticket and get those bonus points in the process, like Tony said.
And, oh, by the way, Warren Young, your final car in the lead lap, in seventh place in the 8. Yeah, that's right in front of Hunter. As a matter of fact, you're going to be able to see it as they start to come down the back chute here. There's Hunter, and there's Warren right in front of him.
I believe they are teammates as well.
It's a definite maybe. It's 28 of Kendall Leverin giving Shane Davis all he can handle right now.
Yeah, he is. That 28's really turned up the wick here late. Taking a much more streamlined approach there to those switchbacks.
It looks like Davis had some major problems back on lap 53 as Leverin was able to chip 22 seconds out of that gap.
Yeah, that's huge. And I was going to say, judging by the way just as we say that, now he's going to give it all back.
Yeah, he is.
See, Tony, we've said it time and time again. This racetrack, it's not forgiving. If you try to get greedy just a little bit, she will bite you.
Yes, she will.
Balasari really starting to put the pressure on Aaron Matthews now in the 5 ride for that top 15 position. Or should say for a top 15 as Aaron Matthews has it. David wants to switch that right now as he is right literally there on the back of that button box number 5 Chevrolet. That also a part of Bad Boy Racing.
You are correct, sir.
Ooh, look at the rotors glowing on the back of Matthews.
The rotor's glowing on everybody's car right now as we are 6 to go.
I mean, Matt, you're right, they all are, but Matthews had a very pronounced glow off the rear.
Oh, yeah. And you can see just how much more the 5 is attacking the corners over the 45. And, you know, I think it's going to fall into the 45's hands as, you know, he's been just steadily chipping away and chipping away and chipping away over the last few laps.
He has been. I mean, just a 10th here, but it all adds up, right, Tony?
You are absolutely correct.
A 10th is a 10th. Numbers don't lie. It's just methodically eating into that deficit.
Handshake lap for Hunter Carmichael, now halfway through it. As he continues to close in on Warren Young. Oh! Hi, Chris.
Spear. Well, hey, like the title sponsor of the race, Spears off there mowing, you know, one infield at a time. That's what he said.
Yep. Coming to a track near you.
It's at the track. Hey, I like a man that stands up behind his advertising campaign, Tony.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we just had him live doing exactly that. How do you argue with that?
Very difficult to do so. As now we only have 6 cars left on the lead lap. The 6th car being the 21 of Bad Chad Sullivan, as he is still trying to reel in Jordan Schmeets.
Chad having a heck of a run here, just outside the top 5 in that 6th place position. Kind of overperforming, if you ask me a little bit. I thought Chad would be a top 10, like a 9th to 10th place car. I didn't have him just outside the top 5. So Chad doing a great job here in that 21. Well, very consistent all day.
It's not like he set the world on fire. He's just trying to keep that car between the grass. You know, keep it on the blacktop, and that's all you really got to do at this joint to have a solid time. Don't shoot yourself in the foot.
And Chad has not done that. Having a great run in that 21. The man from the drop of the green flag literally has been Hunter Carmichael.
Yup.
Taking a page out of Mr. Excitement's playbook. He's not here. Hunter Carmichael picking right up where he left off.
Let's take a look at that gap back to Barry Sanders. And Hunter hasn't really backed it down any. 22, now 23 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, last time by, Hunter Carmichael ran a 1:30.66 to Barry's 44.
Oh! New fast lap of the race.
You must have heard us talking. You knew we were coming back to the front, and he puts down the pepper.
Junior, you can back it down now. As connection issues still continue to plague Carmichael. Let's take a look at Sanders. As he is coming up on, I believe that is Wayne Bowen. Yes, it is. As these guys are just flat getting it right now. And, Carmichael, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid, like you or I would at this point.
Yep.
He's going to come home with his first victory on the season. As a matter of fact, as he's coming through the final chicane right now, as Sanders just coming off the back straightaway and into the S's. Carmichael through that final chicane and through the penultimate corner, now the ultimate corner. He is coming to 2 to go already. Sanders now coming through that same section. Oh my God. Carmichael went quicker still. 128.42 with a 9. Over a 10th quicker than anybody else has gone tonight. As a matter of fact, the only other driver to go sub 129 is Kyle Holden, and he did a 128.54 as Belmonte getting up and out of the way. Carmichael coming through the S's right now, leading him back out onto the oval track. There's the pit access road. And here is the south end of the course into the final chicane. Where did this race go? Belmonte up on 2 wheels coming into the chicane. Final left-hander to the front, straight away we go. Hunter Carmichael has led every single lap here tonight, and we are racing back to checkers, Matt. Or not. Matt? Yo, Matt. We may have lost Matt, folks. Either that or Matt forgot to turn his mic back on. As we are on the final lap, it's basically a cool down here. As Carmichael taking a look at the gap back to Barry Sanders. 25 seconds. Good grief. As he's through the S's for the final time. Unless Carmichael gets taken out by a lap car at this point.
Just as you say that, Tony, John Binder locked him up, but he can even stay behind the lap car. I mean, he has so much real estate to work with.
That was the wrong green car. This is Jameson Middlemiss in the Netflix and Dill car.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go. It's all yours, Matt.
coming off the final turn. Going to bring it home here in Indianapolis. Going to get to kiss the bricks. Hunter Carmichael is flawless at the road course from Indianapolis, Indiana, or Speedway, Indiana, I should say. And how about Barry Sanders? Great day for Bad Boy Racing. Bad Boys, Bad Toys. He's going to come off the corner, come home in second. Bad Boy Racing finishes 1-2. What a drive from Barry Sanders as well.
Absolutely. As there is Kyle Holden holding down third spot. Both Sanders and Holden sitting +1 each. Tim Wortman Jr. unfortunately drops 2 after starting outside row number 1, coming home in 4th. And, we didn't talk about him that much during this race, but how about the 41 of Jordan Schmeets?
Yeah, what a drive. Started up inside the top 5 and finished even with the board.
Absolutely.
Very silently, almost stealth-like. Jordan Schmeets comes home with a very solid top 5.
Very much so, as trying to find where our race winner is. I don't see him. Oh, there he is. As I bring him up into the broadcast booth. Matt, I believe you've got a race winner with you now.
The Corn Man from Iowa. Gonna shake it down here in Indiana. Getting it down on the road. Hunter Carmichael, how you feeling, man? What a performance and statement win. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, guys. That felt really good. The last few weeks have been running pretty good, and it's been a lot of my mistakes that have cost me a good finish. And today, I didn't have any mistakes. I was pretty flawless. I am super excited with that one.
You have to be. As I see you tear the car up, burn it down, and it doesn't matter now. Get all the good out of it. You said flawless, and that's the best way. Tony and I even said it throughout the broadcast. You put everything together, put it on the pole. We're lights out on the racetrack in a dominating fashion. And not to mention, the HMFIC finishes second right behind you. What does this do now for your momentum and your mindset moving forward?
Hoping it shifts my momentum toward the good, because we got Watkins Glen coming up next week, and that'll be a pretty good track for us. And then we got Daytona, so that's also a pretty good track. We got Barry finishing second. He did a hell of a job today. I was hoping he'd get up there and run a little bit with me. And
he had to catch you first.
Kyle was coming, and then he had a few mistakes, and that cost him. But overall, it was a really good race. Everyone ran pretty good. It was a lot of fun. I am ready for a shower now because it is hot.
I was going to say, you're probably working in that race car. You turned the fastest lap of the race there, too, as well, near the end. I mean, you won all the categories here tonight. Congratulations. Who do you want to thank? Who helps you get it done on that ZL1 Chevrolet?
I want to thank my wife and kids for letting me do this. They they like it when I do this stuff, and they like to watch the stuff when I watch the replays at night and stuff. They have a great time with it. I want to thank Bad Boy Racing, Barry. He does a great job putting this league together. Our team has been getting a lot better over the last few weeks, and this year been running really well. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the year with these guys and everybody. The whole league, we're just growing. It's great to see. It's a lot of fun. Makes me look forward to Wednesday nights every week. And, of course, you guys for putting on the broadcast, because everyone loves watching these things back because they're a lot of fun.
Hey, we appreciate that. And Tony and I always look forward to Moonshine in prime time each and every Wednesday night. Bad Boys, Bad Toys at the front. Bad Boy finishes 1-2. Your winner here tonight in the 3 puts it all together in a stellar performance. Your winner, Hunter Carmichael. Tony Trapasso, back to you.
Hey, Hunter, real quick before we turn you loose. Were you taking a page out of Kenny Capola's playbook tonight by using a gamepad and drinking?
I don't even have a gamepad.
All right, fair enough.
That'd have been fun. That'd been really hard, but yeah, it was just a lot of practice. We practiced a lot. It was fun.
Well,
It was good time.
It definitely shows. Congratulations on finally getting that monkey off your back this season.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
And joining me now, the head mother effer in charge, as Matt likes to call him, the boss man, Barry Sanders, taking a page out of Dale Sr.'s playbook with that paint scheme tonight. Loving the whip tonight, Barry. Congratulations on yet another podium finish. Can't be too disappointed with Bad Boy going 1-2.
I'm not disappointed at all. We put in a lot of work trying to conquer this track. I think Hunter did it a little bit better than the rest of us. I don't know how he got so far away from us at the beginning, but props to him and congratulations to him. Love to see our team win. So I probably should have been P3. I think Kyle was pushing it a little hard there, and he got caught up 2 or 3 times, and I was like, well, here he comes again. So Kyle's definitely faster than me, but I'll definitely take the P2.
And take him however you can get him. And next week we go into my neck of the woods up here in Watkins Glen. What are your thoughts going into the penultimate round of the regular season?
I mean, I enjoy road courses. I think everybody's got what do you want to call it? A taste of Watkins Glen. Everybody's pretty decent there, I would imagine. It's a track that, NASCAR's been running it for years. Everybody knows it like the back of their hand. It's a lot of speed there, so I feel like there'll be a few more people that are in competition for Watkins Glen. So I know a lot of people have already been practicing it. I haven't touched it yet, so couldn't tell you. I'll probably run some laps, put in some work like we did here, and try to get better at these road course things, man. We seem to like it so far.
Well, Barry, congratulations on another podium finish here. Getting ready for the playoffs. Who helps you get it done on that RS Button Boxes Chevy?
Of course, the team, everybody that helps us out. Kyle helped me out a lot this week, learning the track and how to do angles and stuff. So big props to him. I hate that I finished in front of him though, because he was definitely faster. He passed me 2 or 3 times, but definitely shout out to him for the guidance this week. Definitely RS Button Boxes, Richie. If you don't have a button box, definitely look into RS Button Boxes. All about sheet metal, Green River Tire, Hickory Harbor, J. Crawford Builders. Shout out to Garrett. He's not with us right now, but can't wait to have him back on the team. He's been out a few weeks dealing with some family stuff, I assume. So, but shout out to you all for putting on the broadcast. Like Hunter said, we love to go back and watch it and enjoy it. And I know my family and friends enjoy watching it as well. So big shout out to you all coming in and doing this week in and week out for us.
Well, sorry we were late tonight. We got called into special duty for the early race as well, but we were able to get here. Thank you so much for extending the parade lap for us. As we were here before the start.
Yeah, so big shout out to Ed. I think Ed did that actually. I was thinking about it, but he did it before I even pressed the button. So
well, thank you, Ed.
To Ed. There you go. Thank you very much, boys.
Barry Sanders, congratulations. We'll see you next week at the Glen.
Oh, hey, Matt.
Barry, awesome run there, brother.
Thanks, man.
That's how you get it done, sir.
And Matt, I believe you've got one of the drivers that was laying down consistent sub 129s here tonight with you now.
Yeah, the Rocket here from Indiana tonight comes home in that final podium position. But Kyle, you had one heck of a battle with Barry Sanders. It seems like you guys were going at it pretty much the entire race. Describe just how good your car was tonight. And then I noticed you had a couple off-track moments there. What was the difference between second and third for you here this evening?
Definitely just being more consistent, not making any mistakes. We got a couple slowdowns, a couple off tracks, and a couple spin arounds there that ended up making us end up in P3 there. But yeah, we had a real fast car tonight. Thanks for Smart Sports for putting this together for us, and we spent a lot of time practicing, putting some work on the setup to make it more comfortable for us, and it showed. But we weren't able to be super consistent and not making the mistakes. So hopefully next week we put it together and we just don't make any mistakes. It's a lot easier track, so hopefully we don't go running off there like we have today.
You bring up a great point. This track is extremely unforgiving, where there's a price you pay to run fast here, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You missed the corner by, you know, an inch and you're losing half a tenth already. And then by the time you get out of exit, you're half a second down. So you got to be on it every single lap. You got to be perfect. And that was Hunter Carmichael tonight. He made all the right moves, no mistakes, and just that's what got him the win.
That he was, but hey, you can't discredit what you've done here tonight, even with the mistakes. I mean, you and Barry Sanders kind of put on a clinic. You know, you gotten past him, and then you had a couple moments there where things didn't quite go your way. Barry Sanders able to get back by you, but then we watched you run him down time and time again. And Barry Sanders had his own miscue as well. There, it was a very thrilling to watch here from the broadcast booth. You and Barry Sanders just letting it all hang out here, if you will, at Indianapolis. You mentioned next week going to the Glen. How does that road course differ from this one, in your opinion?
It's got a lot more banking. So as you like the oval on this track, it's got banking on the corners for the oval side of things. So you can really, put more speed into it. You don't have to brake as hard. And then there's the chicane. The chicane's a lot different. You're able to just jump over the jumps there and kind of push yourself through there if you're really comfortable with it. So you can do a lot faster lap times. You can push yourself a little bit harder on that track. This one, you got to be a little bit more cautious the whole way around. So hopefully we can use some of the things we learned this week and be a little bit better next week.
Hey, well said, Kyle. I couldn't agree with you more. Before we cut you loose, who helps you get it done on that TRD-powered Toyota machine?
Oh, just huge thanks to Kenny Capallo. He's put those, mass amount of time into putting these setups together for us. Team Watson Racing, always there for me whenever going to a race. Martin Sports, Straight Arrow, Main and Tail, all the sponsors of TWR, and just doing great things over there.
Well, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. He was fast at Indy. Look for him to carry the momentum in the Finger Lakes region of New York next week at Watkins Glen. Your third place finisher here tonight, Kyle Holden. Tony, back to you, brother.
And with that, we put another one in the books. Hunter Carmichael, Barry Sanders, Kyle Holden. We just spoke to those three gentlemen. Tim Wharton, Jordan Schmeets, and Chad Sullivan rounding out your lead lap cars in sixth. Warren Young, Shane Davis, Kendall Leverin, Justin Belmonte rounding out your top 10. Randy Mullins, Chris Spear, John Binder, Wayne Bowen, David Balasari rounding out your top 15. Aaron Matthews, Paul Whitley, Jameson Middlemiss, Chris Davis, and Ed Boyles Jr. rounding out your top 20 with Nick Atwood, Darren Mullins, for some reason, Darren Mills and Darren Mullins both putting it on the hauler early. Ryan Huff doing the same. Bobby Justice parked it after only 11 laps. He's Matt Metler. I'm Tony Chapasso. Thank you so much for making this part of your Wednesday evening as part of the Moonshiners Cup Racing Series here on Sim Racing Media. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, share, turn on bell notifications, tattoo it on your neighbor's dog's head. Make sure everybody knows about this league on Wednesday night. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on bell notifications so you don't miss a single moment of action. And this is Tony Chapasso reminding you, ladies and gentlemen, that until we get a chance to meet again, and as you walk down the road of life this week, do us all a huge favor. Don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.